I'm coming from the far reaches.
Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
Hey there, everybody. It's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. It's our way too early AFC North preview with my friends Willie Walls and Odell Blocker, the great Swami. We know that the Swami loves his Ravens. We know that the Ravens, very interesting team here, Swami. J.K. Dobbins, hoping that he comes back healthy. They draft two tight ends, not one, but two tight ends to go along with Mark Andrews. Hollywood Brown goes off to Arizona. You got Rashad Bateman and a bunch of guys. Are the Ravens closer to the Super Bowl or closer to missing the playoffs? What do you think, Swami?
Doc, just got to be honest here. First, I can't believe we started with the Ravens, but it's appropriate. I think we've taken quite a few steps back. I think we've had some great draft picks, as we always do. I think the team is going to be competitive. I think the team struggled to convert on third and long. Anything, if it was 3rd and 6, it might as well have been 3rd and 16. I think, the tight end has been great for us. Hollywood was productive, and we needed to build on that, and we didn't. I think Willie, I think he said it best when he says milk of the ass and ass of the milk. It doesn't get any worse than not addressing your biggest needs during the draft or free agency. Maybe they're still looking to make some move late. I doubt it. There's a few guys that are still out there, but it just looks like we missed the mark again. We're going to have a competitive team. I hope, I hope J.K. comes back. I hope he's healthy. I hope he has a great season. But he can rush for 1,500 yards, and we'll have an early exit out of playoffs again because those teams are coming to play. And we have not taken a step forward, unfortunately. I'm saddened.
Willie, let's build on what Swami said. Look, the Ravens can run. You got Lamar Jackson, one of the greatest running quarterbacks maybe to ever play. You've got a great running game there with Dobbins if he's healthy, Gus Edwards. You got backs. But can you win in the NFL if you can't throw the football?
I'm not going to take that stance that he's taking. I think it's still in the middle of the road. And I'm going to tell you the reason why.
Did you order the cold red? I want the truth. Yes. I'm sorry.
Okay, number one is they had a lot of injuries last year. Devastated with injuries. Now you're talking about, their defense. Anytime, look, remember when the Ravens won the Super Bowl? What did they win by? What did they have that year? Let's think about it. What did they win by this year? They had a strong defense. And that defense, man, with what they did, who got a better secondary in the game than the Ravens? When you got Humphrey, Peters, Williams, and that safety Hamilton, when you got it there, and this is what I'm saying. I think they're more depth than what you think they are in terms of, look, first of all, Mark Andrews, monster year. Mark Andrews, first guy since Kelsey to lead the tight ends. You know what his stats were? 1,003. I mean, it was ridiculous what Andrews did. 75%, the target rate was up from 65% career high. His catches, everything was up. Andrews was a monster. Now, remember, Jackson was hurt last year. Was still a number 9 quarterback, even though he was injured, because he averaged 7.4 yards in rush yard. If he is the guy who I think he might be, I think he can make himself a little better. Bateman is not a bad receiver. Bateman I'm just telling you, I think they're going to be better. And I'm going to tell you this, AK Dobbins is a monster, okay? If he come back from that injury, the ACL injury, like I think he might have, you got to remember, this guy averaged 6 yards per carry per game and 6.1 per touch. Explosive. 134 carries, 9 touchdowns. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Question for you, Willie. Who is their second receiver? Can you
Their
name them?
second receiver,
Outside of Bateman, who is their second receiver?
The second receiver.
He didn't answer the first question. I object.
Excuse me.
Badgering the witness.
Hey, listen. They will go to Denver. Hold on. Hey,
he said
that's the Ravens calling you, saying you're crazy.
No,
exactly.
No, listen.
Madam Cleo, she said, "Billy, call me
now." What I'm telling you is, the Ravens is gonna find somebody. I just think that you guys are selling them too short. I disagree. Their defense is going to be better. I think Lamar Jackson is going to be better, and they're going to run that ball, and that's going to make the play action. It's going to make the play action more devastating. You know,
Michael Jackson is looking for you, and that's actually the last time we had a decent wide receiver. Michael Jackson, Quadri Ishmael, Anquan Bolden, and his huge gaps. Huge gaps.
But I'm just telling you, this Bateman guy you selling short.
No, he's good. Bateman's good. I'm with you. And I'm with you on Andrews. But let me ask you this.
The guy that's going to make a jump this year is Devin.
Hold on a second. Let's say Baltimore is playing Philadelphia. You don't think that Bradbury covers Bateman? You don't think that they're going to put two guys on Andrews? Who else is going to catch the football?
Willie.
That's where I think you're selling short. We still got time. You know, for and then you got to look at draft picks. You got to look at the free. Listen, the Ravens always come up with somebody that you
think at wide receiver. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not.
Listen, I agree with you in wide receiver. That's. But I just think that the defense is going to be a lot better this year, and I think that will buy them more time. And I just think it's going to be time for. I just think this Derwin guy is better than what you're getting credit for. He's really made a lot of improvements. And I just think that I think they're going to be unpredictable at the receiver position. I think they're going to be better than what you think.
Swami, let me ask you this. Let's say Willie is partially right. Let's say this defense may be top 5 in the league. And I don't think that's an unfair thing to say. It's a really great defense. But when your offense can't produce, doesn't that put more pressure on the defense? And all of a sudden, this great defense now all of a sudden is on the field too much?
Every 10 times out of 10. The Ravens since 1996 have had great defenses year in and year out. They've been competitive on the defensive end. And oftentimes when the defense, besides years when they just were kind of, decimated by injury, I said they were let down by the offense because of turnovers, because of their inability to sustain drives, and the defense just been out there too long. Eventually, the dam is going to break. Right now, when you look at these offenses and teams are getting better, they're able to put up points. They're able to do it down 14, down 15, late in games. They can still win ball games. You can't expect to run the ball against the Kansas City Chiefs, against the Buffalo Bills. When it's cold outside, they're not going to let you do it.
Excuse me.
They're going to force you to beat them through the air.
Have you seen their schedule?
The Ravens' schedule is as sweet as it can get. It is the perfect schedule. If Harbaugh can't take this team deep into the playoffs, he should get a job with me.
Who do they play? What other conference do they play in the NFC?
Doc, I forgot. Doc, they should win.
Doc, this schedule. Doc, this schedule is as sweet as it.
Who do they play? Because they play another, the other conference. So who do they play in the NFC? Do we know?
Yeah, look at that, Swami. Look at that real quick. Yeah, I looked at the schedule. I said, man, I saw 11 wins.
They play in the AFC East, and they play in the NFC. Oh wow, yeah, it's pretty bad, Doc. Jets, Miami, New England, already covered that. Buffalo, Cincinnati, New York, Cleveland, Tampa, New Orleans, Carolina, Jacksonville, Denver.
Okay, so they're playing the NFC South, right? So they're playing Tampa, Carolina, Atlanta, and New Orleans. So they should be able to beat Atlanta and beat Carolina easy peasy. Can they beat Tampa Bay? Can they beat New Orleans?
Yes.
They can beat New Orleans. Yes, they can beat New
Okay.
Orleans.
Okay.
You see, that's why Swami just answered his own question. They'll be a lot closer to the playoffs. He just answered it. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, but that's if you go out and you think teams are going to let you run the wishbone.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying
caught up
is,
to the
I'm
offense.
looking at the schedule and their defense. Their defense, they were in games last year, and they didn't have nobody on defense. They're gonna be.
The Ravens can get to the playoffs, and then what?
I'm not saying that. I didn't
Okay.
say after they get to the playoffs. You asked the question. I think they'll be closer. They'll be deep in the playoffs. I think they might have a chance to win a first round game.
Remember, this division's gotten better. We haven't got to the
Yeah,
other
no,
teams.
I understand.
I'll pause there.
Well, but we ain't talk about Cleveland either.
Listen, but this division plays the same team.
I understand.
Okay.
But I'm not talking about Pittsburgh. They should be able to beat everybody. I think Cincinnati is definitely the number one team in the division, but I think Pittsburgh took a step back.
All right, well, let's get there in time. Let's take a look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, you lose Ben Roethlisberger right now. From what I understand, Mitch Trubisky is the starting quarterback for Pittsburgh. Kenny Pickett is number 3. Mason Rudolph is number 2. Najee Harris and his huge quads is the running back. But you've got a bunch of receivers who are really good, right? Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, Freiermuth. I mean, this is a stacked team. But I have a question. How stacked can you be when Mitch Trubisky is your quarterback? How good can it be when this guy has proven to be bad? So, Willie, how many games do the Steelers win this year? And is it possible that they are the worst team in this division?
Well, listen, I think they are the worst team in the division. But let's go back and see. Let's go back and look at the draft. I'm going to tell you what I do like what they did. Okay, in free agency, they picked up center Mason Cole. They signed guard James Daniel, and they signed Levi Wallace. Okay, they needed to get better at line. Okay, I like what they did. I thought that was some. I thought that was good. Now, what I didn't like I said, the key for everything is going to be this. We don't even know if Trubisky is going to be the starter of the whole year. We don't know that. The key is, how is Kenny Pickett going to be? And then you got round 2 when they got Pickens from Georgia. The other guy from Georgia.
Right. Calvin Austin. I know that, but I don't even know if those guys even play this year with Deontay Johnson there and Chase Claypool.
Agreed. So what I'm saying to you is this. That's the positive part. This is the negative part. Okay, Claypool, has trouble getting free. Okay, he doesn't separate. You saw what he did last year. He had a diminishing years. Everything was down. 2 TDs. And you got Trubisky as your quarterback. Okay, so you look at that. Now, Freiermuth. I do like Freiermuth. I thought Freiermuth is going to be a good tight end. But again, who's throwing Freiermuth the ball? Okay, and then the best thing they got is they got Najee Harris. Okay, Najee Harris is a workhorse back. I mean, listen to this: 170 more snaps than the next running back. 170 more snaps. Had 381 touches, 74 receptions. But what is the knock on Najee Harris? Explosiveness. Okay, explosiveness. Even though he's getting all the touches. He's number 31 out of 53 running backs, for over 10 yards that has at least 100 attempts. So what I'm saying to you is, yes, I just think that Pittsburgh is going to be in the cellar of this division. And I think the Ravens are going to, that's where 2 more of their wins, they're going to wipe them up. They will wipe them up. And I don't think Cleveland is good. So I think, Pittsburgh, fantasy-wise, who do I want? Deontay Johnson, but I love Deontay Johnson, but do you trust Trubisky?
No, I agree. Swami, I agree with Willie. I think Trubisky is the X factor here. You've got a lot of offensive skill weapons. There's some guys on defense, but Stephon Tuitt just retired, literally just retired. I mean, I know you have Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt and Minkah Fitzpatrick. They do have some players here, but can you win? And you know this better than anybody. Trent Dilfer was the quarterback of the Ravens and won a Super Bowl. So you can win with a mediocre quarterback. Is Mitch Trubisky mediocre, or is he just bad?
First, I'm gonna give Trent a little bit. He was a Pro Bowl quarterback. He at least went to a Pro Bowl. He also won a Super Bowl. I think the Ravens team was a little bit different. You're talking about the kind of defense that we see once in a lifetime. That's not That wasn't the everyday defense. But I think Willie got quite a few things wrong. Willie, the first thing that you got wrong, and I'm surprised at you, is that you didn't give any credit to this coaching staff and this organization. They put good football teams on the field year in and year out. Even when they have injuries and they suffer, the teams are well prepared, they play hard. I really like what they do over there from that perspective. And so I think that Trubisky, who wasn't in a great situation, right? He was in a tough situation, that I think he may have something that they can work with. Will he end the season as the starter? Not really sure, right? They brought him, they spent the first round pick, they moved up to, get somebody that folks thought was a reach. I think they like what they got. And so they might be, looking to get him in there sooner rather than later. But again, the Steelers have enough pieces on that offense. They have a solid defense, and they have a great staff and organization. I think those, you can win with that. And so for me, I think they're much better. I don't think they're necessarily the bottom of the division. I think those other teams still have something to prove as well, namely the Browns and Ravens. And so to me, I think they're going to be competitive. I think they have the same soft AFC East and the same soft NFC South, and that gives them an opportunity just as well. And if a couple plays go their way and they've played well against this division, I think they can still win it.
All right, Deontay Johnson is going right now as about the 35th to 36th pick in fantasy drafts, according to the most recent ADP. Would you take Deontay Johnson with your third-round pick? Willie, yes or no?
Quarterback.
No.
Swami?
Not without a quarterback. No, sir.
All right, Najee Harris right now is going number 6 overall. Would you take Najee Harris at 6 or 7 overall? Willie, yes or no?
I'm going to be honest with you.
Yes.
I'm not going to take him number 6 is because who's going to open it up for him?
Well, let me ask you this. Would you take Najee over Dalvin Cook?
That's close.
And they got a line. No, I would take Dalvin Cook over him.
Would you take Najee over Jamar Chase?
Chase is a monster. He's a monster. No, let me give me Chase.
Would you take Najee over Devontae Adams?
This year, yes.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Ew. I gotta see preseason. I gotta see preseason. I
22 touches.
Very, very, very happy in life.
I mean, listen.
22 touches to 7.
Listen, don't get it twisted. Najee Harris is going to get the touches, but all I'm saying, what I'm saying, Swami, is true. Listen, he is not an explosive back. That's all I'm saying.
What if he gets 22 carries for 68 yards? Najee Harris was great in the beginning of the year when he caught passes. And then at some point, if you guys remember, he stopped catching passes. I'm going to get it for you guys because it was dramatic. It really was.
His quarterback play was dramatic.
Well, yeah, but Najee Harris. Wait. So here's what happened. Week 1, it was 1 catch. Then it was 5. Then he had 14. Then he had 6, 2, 6. After the bye week, 3, 3, 4, 5, 3, 5, 3, 2, 5, 3, 4, 2. That's not sensational. He had that one big week of 14. He had 2 other weeks of 6. You take those 3 weeks out, and it's okay. It's not special.
That's why I said it's no way I will take him number 6. I mean, plus it's a difference if he was explosive. He's not.
All right, let's pivot to the Cleveland Browns. And before we talk about the Browns, I want to talk about Deshaun Watson. So my question to you is simple. First, I'll give it to Swami. Will Deshaun Watson suit up for the Cleveland Browns in 2022?
That's a great question. I think if he suits up, I think
I know we Browns suit up.
No, I mean if he's able to play, I think the Browns become a part of the conversation. I think what they have behind them in the backfield, I think he's shown that he can do a lot of things in the pocket, and so you would have to think that the Browns will be better with Watson in there.
Not the question. Not the question. The question is, will he play this year? Yes or no?
I mean, Doc, if I had them kind of, if I had that kind of intel, I'd be in Vegas right now. play some bets. I don't know. I just think we thought this thing was behind and they were able to move forward and now it's just some uncertainty. I'm just not really sure. It's the same thing somebody commented on last video about Kamara. A big New Orleans fan, and he said, just remember, he had a situation during the Pro Bowl because we were talking about Kamara the same way, and he was like, don't forget, he might not be there, and obviously, if Kamara's not there, there's no way we could take him. So it's just a big if. I hate that this situation is still kind of dragging out there for the Browns fans who were hoping that they would have a big year. I don't know. I hope he does, though, Doc. I don't know.
Willie, does Deshaun Watson play this year?
I think he's going to play, but I think he'll be suspended 6 to 8 games. And to me, that's a wrap.
Did the Browns burn a bridge with Baker Mayfield? Because now let's just say Willie's right. Let's say Willie's right and he misses 8 games. You're going to play Jacoby Brissett for the first 8 weeks? You're going to be 1-7. At least with Baker Mayfield, you might have been 5-3.
Yeah, I'm just hoping it's a double jeopardy kind of deal. It's like can't be charged for the same crime because technically the organization kind of shelved him last year. I don't think the NFL imposed anything while everything was kind of going on last year.
It was a public relations nightmare.
Well, but again, now if he was shelved then and under some type of, even if it was just a team type of suspension or he was away from the team, then you come back and then suspend him again. I don't know. I just hope that they're able to come to something soon for the sake of the fans.
All right, Willie, let's assume for argument's sake that Deshaun Watson is there. Let's say he plays 8 games, half the season. Are the Browns a playoff team? Do you like what they have with Cooper and Peoples-Jones and Njoku and Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt?
Let's talk about this. Let's have a conversation. I think their receiver core is horrible. Okay, you talking about you're depending on Amari Cooper. Okay, let me give you Mr. Cooper's stats last year. Okay, all career lows. 6.9 targets a game. Okay, 4.5 catches. Okay, 55 yards a game. One good thing, he had 8 TDs, averaged 13.5 points a game. Okay, now you talking about Mr. Cooper. What happens to Mr. Cooper? Oh, Mr. Cooper get this little soft injuries, don't he? Little soft tissue injuries. So he might give you 10 games. So if you got Deshaun Watson out, 8, and you got Cooper out 6, yeah, I mean, hey, I know you got Chubb. I mean, Chubb is great. He had 1,433 yards, 9 TDs, averaged 5.5 yards per carry, first back ever for the first 4 years, averaged over 5 yards a carry to get carried over the ball 100 times. Chubb is a monster, but he don't catch no passes. He caught 20 passes all year, 20, and that's what he normally averages, 20 passes. Then you got Kareem Hunt that takes stuff away from him. The point I'm trying to make, Doc, is, I mean, you got to depend on David Bell. That's the receiver they drafted. He'll be coming out of the slot. He's a slower guy, but he's very competitive in catching.
Good hands.
And he has great hands. So
Swami, let me ask you both this question. You're drafting, Amari Cooper's on the board, and Darnell Mooney is there too. Who are you taking, Willie? Mooney or Cooper?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm taking Mooney because I think Mooney got more upside, and he got a guy that could break the pocket. He has a thing for him. But I'm not taking either one of them. I'm not gonna be. There's not gonna be a high pick, but I would take Mooney. I think Mooney has more upside than Cooper.
Swami, are you taking Mooney, Cooper, or I'll throw another one in there, Juju Smith-Schuster? You could have one of those 3. Who are you taking?
Justin Tucker.
Nice. Always take a kicker.
I think his answers. And think about this. Njoku. Look at the contract he got.
Big money. Too much money. All right, Swami, what do you think of the Browns, Swami? What's your thoughts on the Browns?
I think Njoku has either the greatest, agent, advocate, in the history of the NFL for tight ends, or somebody in that organization and him are dating. That is insane for the kind of
There's naked
production
pictures of the
that
owner,
he's
right?
He has to. He's got all, but back to again, Willie talking about Cooper and all of that. Clearly, he has a PhD, Doc. That is a player hater degree. I cannot believe that you talk about Harris not being explosive or not being able
He's
to
not explosive.
create any big plays. You talk about Coop. I think
I just gave you, sir. Excuse me. I gave you stats for over 10
yes,
yards.
Doc, listen to this. Stat man.
Yeah.
I get it. It's a bunch of reasons why somebody might.
So
Let me finish, sir.
Amari Cooper. So Amari Cooper, as the number one receiver, that's like Alvin Harper being the number one receiver.
You had a bunch of reasons why somebody might get 4 or 5 targets. It's not just because of Cooper, right?
So did you see that the Cowboys only got a 5th and a 6th for Amari Cooper when other teams were getting first-round picks for Tyreek Hill and all these guys? They got a 5th and a 6th for Cooper. That's how poo-poo he is.
I'm not sure what they were thinking, and you can't get rid of 2 of your receivers and get better. I just said this about my team, right? It's going to apply for my second team and the Cowboys as well. You cannot get rid of players and get better. It's not. I mean, unless they are just completely and totally done. And Cooper was still having big games and putting up, some nice stats for him when they got on the ball.
I just feel like this whole Watson thing is a mess. I feel badly for the women. I feel badly for the teams. I just feel badly. It just should never have happened. I feel just horrible and now for the Browns, you just want to win and play football. You don't even know who your quarterback is.
And every day it gets worse. Somebody else is coming out. But let me say this. Let me be fair to Njoku. He had his career high in yards per, like 13 yards per catch and 9 yards per attempt. Now with Hooper gone, he can have a big role and he might be a little sleeper for somebody if Watson can get there.
Right.
Who else had a career high? You know who else had a career high? The GM. He had to be high. The owner. He had to be high.
Listen, we
coach,
know that
he had to be high.
I'm just.
No, you're wrong about the coach. That coach has made that team competitive because he's made that team better than they are. Because Baker Mayfield, as we all have seen, is not very good. He has hidden Baker's faults as best as he can. The owner is a train wreck. That owner is terrible. And that's why this team will never be good.
You know who's missing? They need to sign Antonio Brown for $300 million.
I like where you're going.
That's the next move. That makes sense. If Njoku's going for that, that's the next move.
Yeah,
and maybe they'll bring back T.O.
Think about this. Baker, tell me this. Who runs better routes than Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry? Would we argue that these are 2 of the best route runners in football? Baker Mayfield couldn't find either of them.
Well, he saw them. He just couldn't.
And you saw what happened.
He had a torn humerus bone.
When Beckham went with a quarterback that could throw him the rock, all of a sudden he became viable again.
All right, let's get to the class of the division, the team that nobody thought would make the Super Bowl, but all of a sudden the Cincinnati Bengals get to the Super Bowl. And how about this? I would argue the Bengals got better in the offseason. They drafted well. They've got in free agency. They picked up a bunch of dudes on that offensive line because Joe Burrow was a pinata at the end of the year. Woo! You got Joe Mixon. You got Jamar Chase Roto, the Roto child. Tyler Boyd. Hayden Hurst is now the tight end there. This team is better in what I would argue is a very good defensive division, but not a very good offensive division. Then you go and playing some of that weak NFC South. Cincinnati might be an 11 or 12 win team, guys. Willie, thoughts on Cincinnati?
Woo! They loaded. They're loaded. First of all, let's address what they did in free agency. Okay? They said, they got Alice Kappa. We got to get a guard. We got to get another guard. We got to get Ted Karras. Okay? But we're also going to do better than that. We're going to get Collins from the Cowboys. You know what I mean? So they said we're going to certify this. This is what people don't realize. Let me tell you. Let me give you some Joe Burrow stuff that just makes this guy. First of all, he was on the siege last year. He got sacked 51 times. 51. That's getting bludgeoned. You know? I mean, 51 times. But regardless, he still completed 70.4% of his passes. Okay? He still averaged 9.9 and in fact, he's throwing little dogs, 9.0 per attempt. Okay? First guy since Drew Brees to lead the league in that category in 2017. Okay? Now let's get to some of the good stuff. Mr. Chase. Monster. Now they're going to have some stuff together. Oh, let me see. 81 catches, 1,455 yards, 13 TDs. You know, almost caught Randy Moss. Almost caught Mr. Moss, for rookies. And then, we ain't going to say that. First rookie, first receiver to have multiple 200-yard games. He just had one. He had a couple. Okay? Then let's go to Mr. T. Higgins. This guy improved so much last year. T. Higgins, 82 catches, 1,282 yards, 6 TDs, perfect compliment. Then you got Tyler Boyd. We can't get you in there. We're going to get you a couple passes, Tyler. But you got those two monsters right there. And then we're going to say, hey, you know what? Let's bring some more stuff in. Let's get Mr. Mixon in there. 16 touchdowns, over 1,400 something yards, a perfect compliment. Only thing I don't like about Mixon, he caught 42 balls. Okay. So
you don't like that?
Yeah. 42 balls. I mean, I like Mixon, but what I'm saying is I would like them to get more than 42 balls.
In that offense?
I like him to get more than 42 balls. Remember, towards the end of the year, if you notice, he caught more balls towards the end of the year.
Willie, 42 balls puts him. The projections this year have Mixon probably as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I like Mixon, but what
top 15 in receiving running backs.
Yeah, but what I'm telling you though, Doc, is this:
on a good team.
The Holy Grail is like 4.1. Listen, this is what you're going to get in the games where he had 2 or 3 catches. He averaged 11.6 points a game. The games when he didn't, that's when he averaged 26 points.
Right, but if you look at Mixon more carefully, and if you remember, we used to talk about this all the time on the DFS show. They were a run-first team for the better part of the beginning year. And then all of a sudden, toward the end of the year, and from week 16 on, Mixon had 6 catches, 7, 4, 6, 3.
What did I tell you? I said at the end of the year, he started catching the ball more. Okay, so hopefully they keep that same thing. Listen, but the whole point being is this: you got Mixon, Chase, and T. Higgins, and then you got Burrow that you're gonna give more time to. It's not even close. This is the best team in the division, and this team will be in the Super Bowl conversation. I'm just saying, they're stacked. I love what they have. I mean, just think about giving Burrows more time. He was under siege last year. Under siege.
Swami, what do you think about the Bengals? Is Willie right? Is this a Super Bowl contender?
I think the Bengals are a very good team. I think Willie's right about that. I think, again, he might be missing how competitive the AFC North is. And every year, these teams scrap. It doesn't matter. It's kind of like if you remember when that old Washington football team and Dallas Cowboy rivalry, and you could almost throw records out. These teams, they play and compete really, really hard against each other. And so you oftentimes, whoever's going to come out of that division is going to have to dominate that division. I don't know right now if they're going to dominate the division. I think they're a playoff team for sure. But, where they fall at as far as their seed, because you could get 2 playoff teams out of this division. We have seen that, whether Steelers, Ravens, again before. I expect to see 2 again.
They're not going to be
No. I'm saying historically we could see 2 teams coming out of the North. I can still see that happening.
It's still going to be 2 teams. It's going to be
Cincinnati
and the Ravens.
But what I'm saying is I like what they're doing. I like the offense. You can't deny Joe Burrow. You can't deny, what Chase, Higgins, Boyd, what they're doing. Walls didn't mention that they brought in Hayden Hurst. I think he's a former Raven tight end. I know he spent a little bit of time with Falcons, but he's still a Raven. But he's very good. He definitely stretches the field. decent route runner.
Oh,
there's
he's an upgrade over Uzoma for sure.
Oh,
Big
yeah.
upgrade.
So you put him back in the offense. I think they're going to open it up. So Walls might get what he's asking for with Mixon because they might open it up. He might get a few more balls because all underneath coverage is going to be a little bit
I just want him to give. Reason I say it, he's a good pass catcher. See, that's what I mean. See, what gets you? He doesn't have Chubb hands. He can catch the ball, and you saw at the end of the year when they gave that ball to him on those screens, he made things happen.
They're going to have to be a little bit more creative with their offense, I think, this year. People got a little bit more film on Joe Burrow. He's going to have to come out and prove that he can do it again. And I think they're going to have to keep him upright, and the defense is going to have to be able to play a little bit better than they did last year. Other than that, kicking game, offense, solid.
Swami, you're in the draft. Joe Mixon and Stephon Diggs are on the board. Who are you taking?
Diggs.
Joe Mixon and DeAndre Swift are on the board. Who are you taking?
Swift.
Joe Mixon and Javonte Williams are on the board. Who are you taking?
With Wilson, I might have to go Williams.
Okay.
What you got, Willie? You sound like you swallowed canary.
Willie, you taking Joe Mixon or Stephon Diggs?
I'm taking Mixon.
You taking Mixon or DeAndre Swift?
Mixon.
You taking Mixon or Javonte Williams?
Ooh. Damn.
That Detroit offense has gotten better.
Yeah, but
watch it.
But
that Buffalo offense is going to score a lot of touchdowns.
Not going to be over Mixon. No, sir. No. Come on. Get on out of here with that. Crazy. No, sir. And you keep taking those damn receivers. Give me that running back that's going to get those touches. Going to give me 20-something touches a game and going to get the end zone run. And a prolific offense like that, just like Buffalo is, but the difference is Buffalo got like about 25 weapons they could give the ball.
We will see. We
will see. How many wins is Cincinnati getting? If over and under is 11.5, you taking over or under?
I think they can get 12 this year.
Swami?
I agree. They didn't go 12.
Ravens are 9.5. Do they get 10? Swami?
Yes.
Yeah, I think they get 10.
Willie, you say
yes.
Yes. Steelers are at 7.5. Do they get 8, Willie?
They might get 8 because of the coaching.
Swami?
They definitely get 9 wins.
9. All right. Browns are at 8.5. Do they get 9, Willie?
Man, it's Watson. I think
Who's
they might go under. They might go under.
You take that bet now, and you may lose that sucker. If Mayfield's there, he may get 4. If Watson's there, he may get 10.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, Mayfield playing with a chip, though.
And don't get me wrong, but it's just what he did was, listen, when there's smoke, there's fire. And
is John Harbaugh going to get fired at the end of this year?
No.
Swami?
Hell no.
Doc, I've dreamt that dream. All I can say, again, much respect to these Super Bowl winning head coaches and John Harbaugh and even the last head coach that won. But it's just something about, sometimes it's like you get that coach in there and you got teams who they just don't, like, year in and year out, you got to kind of suffer through these, all these overtime games and bad losses and last second and plan out.
So is this a long-winded way of saying he'll probably be there and I don't like it?
It's like once you win a Super Bowl, you get this, but again, even when Andy Reid loses or Bill Belichick loses, they lose Sean Payton, they lose in a way where the teams are competitive and your head down. You might leave the stadium and you kind of bummed, but still, the team came well prepared. They played it all. You didn't get a call. You just dropped the ball, or it was a turnover, something. But
oh my God, this is a simple question: is he going to get fired or not, Swami?
Doctor.
All right, last one for you. Oh my God, Willie, I'm with you. Is Mike Tomlin a Hall of Fame coach?
Absolutely. That's easy.
Really?
I think so. Yeah,
I do too.
I like Tomlin.
All right. When we come back from this break, Swami will still be talking about John Harbaugh and.
I mean, just get to the.
It hurts, y'all. You guys don't get this. Is painful.
me.
He couldn't answer.
You gotta lose the same weight.
He had like how many necks did you have? You talking about all sides of your neck?
I know you not. You was like a hungry guy at a buffet. You was all over the place.
No. You was he asked you a question about.
I'm not going to the buffet with Willie. Willie's taking everything.
Exactly. He's all over the place. Exactly. You just had. I have.
You are. He asked you one question. Is he gonna say? And you went. I don't know what. Did you give a dissertation? Was that? What was
Super
that?
Bowls and going to the playoffs? It buys you time. But if you're not getting better,
that's true.
Terrible,
That's
man.
true.
You got to suffer through the fact that you won.
Appreciate this, Swami. Before we go, do you remember when the Ravens played the Giants in that Super Bowl? John Fossil, or Jim Fossil, I believe, was one game from being fired, right? Giants were going to get rid of him. But then he makes his Super Bowl run. He stays there for about a bunch more years.
Exactly. I mean, the previous coach, we had to go games without scoring a touchdown. He's supposed to be an offensive guy. I want to say his name, but it rhymes with Ryan Millett. It was terrible. I couldn't believe we had to suffer through not even able to score a touchdown for
what was
games.
That rhyme again? What was that rhyme again? All right. We're out of here. What do we say, guys? Be well and
take care.
Take care.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.